How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Welcome back to Conti and Nick.
This is washing machine stuff.
Number 34, I'm Will Nicholson. As always, I have with me Gino Conti. And today, we have Dom Howsberger and Cam Tait joining us. So we're glad to have the boys here. It's going to be a good time. We're talking a little NFL season wrap up and giving some playoff predictions. But yeah, we're back. We're here. We got more guests on, which is always great to have.
Always welcome.
Always welcome. So I know, Gino, you wanted to start with this season wrap up. So what did you think overall of, I guess, the season? And there were some teams who didn't make the playoffs who I think deserve to be talked about a little bit.
I mean, I honestly didn't pay attention that much to what happened this week in the NFL. I'll be completely and utterly honest with you. I didn't. My main focus here, or my main thing, like the coaches, man. Like, what's happened in the last couple of days? You know what I'm talking about? Like, yes, Flores, which was happening with Vic Fangio, with Zimmer, with Nagy.
That was fucking wild.
It is. Hello.
Hi, Brady.
Nice little Brady cameo there.
Always happens.
Yeah, we're live, Brady.
If we're talking about Brian Flores right now, that guy did not deserve to be fired.
So let me tell you right now, okay? Brian Flores, I understand that there had been some controversy in terms of like, oh, maybe he tried to overstep his bounds. Okay, maybe he tried to be someone that was like a little too much of a GM coach and tried to kind of take complete ownership of the franchise. And you know what? I will admit, as a coach, you overstep your bounds like that. That's not right. But at the end of the day, man, that's 2 straight winning seasons.
I agree with that.
That's like the results. I'm not gonna say the results because they're not going to Canton. Like they're not as like the 17-0 or the 18-0 Dolphins, whatever, undefeated.
This is the Dolphins.
That's not what's happening. Like they didn't make the playoffs. But let's take into account that this is a man who, you lose 7 straight. Like that's something that's okay. That's your freaking fault.
He did turn around though.
But let's not forget they had Jacoby Brissett for a good amount of time. Yeah. And he's not bad by any means.
I don't think Tua is the answer.
Yeah,
I don't think he's the answer.
Well, I think Tua has the ability. That's a different discussion for another day. But I think that, dude, like, the way you're able to perform as a coach and the way you're able to take a firm grip of that locker room after you have a 7-game losing streak, like, and most of the coaches and most of the players would just pack it up and be like, shit, looks like they're going to tank for the first round pick or for the first overall pick.
Yeah.
What he did was he went like, guys, screw this. We have an extra game. Like, let's go and let's do this. And he deserves all the credit in the world for that. And he swept the New England Patriots.
I was about to say that. I think you have to take into account that Brian Flores can actually beat the Patriots, which nobody else has been able to do for the Dolphins.
Consistently do it.
Consistently, exactly. You had
it's
Adam Gase before. Like, how are you just gonna fire?
It was a bad team he turned around, and it's a tough division he plays in. You know what I mean? I don't think they were going after division titles these years. I think it was a disagreement with the GM.
Yeah, in the way I look at it too, I go, you know what? Yes, definitely. If somebody is becoming that much of an issue, like obviously, yes, that's what we saw with Urban Meyer. Like they became too much of an issue. It wasn't something that could be overlooked and just like held on for the rest of the season.
I think Urban Meyer is one of one though. This
Urban Meyer Flores is a stand-up guy.
One of one.
He's a great coach. He's not Urban Meyer.
It's crazy how we can say a guy is in running for like Coach of the Year, which a lot of people had Brian Flores as, because just the turnaround season. Personally, I think that this was the most useless winning streak in NFL history. This meant nothing. This win streak meant absolutely nothing.
That's not true.
Like, it meant nothing.
The coach is gone now, so what does it mean?
Okay, well, in hindsight, yes. In hindsight, like, yes, now that we know that Flores is fired, you can say
fired, though, I think that means a lot.
What I'm telling you is, like, this, like, again, to be able to have...
Jake.
Yeah. To be able to have the ability as a coach to pick up your players after they've lost 7 straight games. Not only that, go on an impressive win streak, beating playoff teams, okay? Beating playoff teams. To me, to be like, guys, let's go. We still have the ability. We still have the talent on the roster. Listen, like, their running backs towards the end of the year were free agents. Yeah. So, like, week 11, Duke Johnson and Philip Lindsay.
They played hard for him.
They played,
and Johnson played great.
He
That's what I'm
did.
saying.
He did. Like, and they had Jacoby Brissett, like I said, for a good amount of time. Will Fuller couldn't stay healthy. Devontae Parker couldn't stay healthy. You were counting on a rookie mostly in the passing game, and then like a Pro Bowl caliber tight end. And there's a lot worse in the league, but there's definitely
and a horrendous offensive.
Yes, a
line.
horrendous
that
offensive line.
Very
bad.
poor.
Yes,
Very
so
poor.
that's
They
what
need
I'm
to.
saying.
That needs to be their number one thing.
Yes.
Or like
yes.
I agree with you. I don't think Tua is the answer, but Tua also doesn't need to be shipped out immediately. I don't think. So I think they need to rebuild that offensive line.
They
That needs to be
traded
number
Laramie
one.
Tunsil away.
They traded
They had Laramie. They had an anchor, and they traded him away.
Yeah, they did. And who did like Liam Eichenberg?
Yeah,
What was his name?
he's-
Like
I don't know.
Austin Jackson or whatever.
Austin
And
Jackson.
awful.
It's just a bad
Okay,
offensive
like
line.
Robert
had-
Hunt is like their only decent lineman.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Okay.
good players they had are on the Patriots now. They had Ted Karras.
Van
they had
Van
Noy.
Noy.
That's what I'm saying. They left a ton of players.
They
They
did.
let him go. They let a ton of talent go. And I
Listen-
mean, whether you can say Van Noy was a salary thing, but that's a ton of talent. they
Yeah,
let go.
and I'm not here trying to tell you guys that like someone trying to maybe do a little too much and maybe not knowing his plays
Yeah.
isn't something that you should be concerned about if you're a GM or an owner. But again, look at what's happening. Everyone, he's like the first in line. He's
Yeah.
probably going to be the first guy to get
I
hired.
think he's
again.
already interviewed with the Bears right
Yeah,
now.
he's
Yeah,
getting.
he
Yeah,
has.
and then,
And I think he would be a very good fit on the Bears.
I do.
yeah,
I think he's a
he'd
good
be
fit there.
really anywhere.
Yeah.
honestly.
like he's
just a
like you
good
said,
coach.
he's a good
He's a
stand-up
good
guy.
coach. He's a
So
stand-up guy.
what I'm telling you is like,
And the Dolphins' defense is legit. Like he really
Oh, yeah.
turned that defense around.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
I
did.
think Xavier Howard actually wants out
He
now.
has
so
great
that-
scheme though.
Yeah,
Great
no,
scheme.
yeah, exactly.
so I mean that's really something that like if you're a general manager, if you're an owner, how do you pick Chris Greer, somebody who's really only hit, I'd say, on about 2 draft picks? I mean, and that'd be Tua, and that's not even like a huge hit. It's just like,
I would argue it's not a hit.
and
at
he's not.
all.
It's not a miss though. You know
I'd
what I mean?
argue it's
Sure.
it's not really a hit at number 5. I think that's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
There were better
Sure.
players.
Yeah, there were, and you know what? Herbert, in hindsight, has been better.
Oh yeah,
But
Herbert, exactly.
let's be real. Like Herbert was considered somebody who needed time in development, so they took the pro-ready guy now coming out of Bama. Like I always
I
will say
can't
this.
100% blame them because it seemed
Yeah,
like a good
I
fit at the
guess.
time, and I don't know. There are worse options at quarterback than Tua, but not that many.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm always somebody who looks at it from the point of the draft. Like, if you're here in 2022, obviously Justin Herbert,
yeah.
you knew in hindsight, like you would take Justin Herbert over Tua. But at the time, like you said, he was considered like a developmental prospect,
Yep.
somebody who needed time in the system.
That's true.
Tua was somebody who was deemed to be pro-ready right away, and the only thing was his height and that he was lefty. And you know what? He's had injury problems himself, but still, like he's been decent.
Tua is a small man, and I think it's already catching up to him, which is a little scary for
Yeah,
a young guy who's like not very
If you
athletic.
agree
did
with
give
you.
him a better offensive line,
That's fair.
and that's what I'm saying.
I'll
I
give
think
him
he's
that.
been good enough to be the starter for now.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think so.
But I think that taking his head coach away isn't. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, it's not
I
good.
think Flores was a guy who vouched for
Yeah.
Tua.
He
Well,
did.
everyone's,
that's what-
everyone's saying, "Oh, get Tua an offensive coach. He needs a new coach." Flores was fine. Like the
I thought
offense
they
that
had a good
Flores was
time.
running was fine.
And not only that, like that's what you want out of the coach, to like stick on your guy, even if at first he doesn't give the best impression. Okay, when everyone else is willing to dispose, when you really haven't seen true evidence that this guy isn't ready. Okay, like yeah, he had an up and down rookie year. That's because he was taken in and out of the lineup. You know, and against
true.
the
It
against the
is
Rams last
also-
year, remember he went toe to toe with the Rams last year
Yeah,
and performed very, very well. Like, come on now,
it's
like
also his third different offense. It's his third different coordinator.
yes,
So you have to
and
take
you
that
know what?
into account.
That is one thing that I will hold against Flores.
He really has got the short end of the stick. Once
Yeah,
you
he
think about
really
it, he
has.
kind of
He's had a bad situation there.
I don't
Bad
know.
situation.
I don't think the physical talents are there for him.
Tua?
No.
Yeah,
If I'm Tua,
Like in
I
terms
don't
of
even know if
weapons
I
or
wanna
just himself?
himself. Like
Both.
his physical ability.
What have the Dolphins done for him? What have the Dolphins
nothing.
done? Anything
Nothing.
to make him easy? They
Waddle
got
and
Waddle,
Gesicki,
Which was
that's
his
They got
it.
teammate.
Waddle and
Which was his
Gesicki.
teammate.
Yeah.
Okay,
To
that's
his teammate.
fair.
So they got his teammate, but then look what they did. They drafted Tua. Okay, they had 2 more first round picks.
Yep.
Like Austin Jackson, who's been laughably bad.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Jalen Phillips has been good.
Noah Iganagani or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
No, like that corner out of
Yeah.
Auburn, Noah
Yeah, I know what you're
Iganagani
talking
or
about.
whatever.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
familiar with this class.
I'm telling you, why wasn't
I don't
Greer?
think that's a great pick. Also, when they already have so many corners,
I know.
like they have
It-
Byron Jones and Xavier Howard.
And
There's
not
no
to,
need
and
for
yeah,
that.
2 are big guys, like big hits on the payroll too. Okay,
Yeah.
but how are you an owner and you look at what's going on, like somebody who has 2 straight winning seasons, and then in his first season won 5 or 6 games, I don't remember the exact number, beat about 2 to 3 playoff teams in his first year in what was considered the worst undisputed roster in the league.
Yeah, it was bad.
How are you a GM and look through it at the lens of Chris Greer gets to stay and Brian Flores has to go?
I believe Chris Greer has been there for like 20 plus years, and so that's probably why. I don't want to agree with it, but that's probably
a Twitter
why.
thing they called Mike Tomlin to hip hop when they were going through their hiring process and they didn't hire him. That was
so
this organization.
bad.
That's this organization.
That's
so, I mean,
so bad.
They just, I think they have a problem taking themselves seriously.
That's
but if
so
you're
bad.
Brian Flores, where do you want to go? Because I think there's some good rosters
Honestly,
out there that you can go right now.
I think that he would do really good in Minnesota.
I was thinking Minnesota.
I
They
think
have a
he'd do
real
good in
good
Minnesota.
offense. I think Zimmer has really underachieved with the offense.
Zimmer sucks. And look,
He doesn't suck. The game
no,
just
he
passed
does.
him by.
No,
I
no,
agree.
no.
He would be a fantastic defensive coordinator.
Sure. Yeah,
the
that's
game.
fine.
The game has passed
Maybe
him by.
relegate him to a different.
I don't
head
think
coach.
he's the
Yeah.
type of coach that like builds a
Think
culture.
of, like,
I
the-
think Brian
He's for
Flores
sure
does that.
not.
The Vikings have so many weapons on offense. I mean, you have Dalvin Cook, you have an above-average quarterback, you have 2 star receivers, you have
For
KJ
sure.
Osborne, who's a good.
He's emerged.
He's
emerged,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, an offensive line who's made look pretty good by
You got
Dalvin Cook.
Kellen Mond, who's going to develop. Like
That's-
I mean,
I
and then
think
Darisaw.
Darisaw
Darisaw.
too. Yeah.
The defense has some questions. There's some
Definitely in the
there's
secondary.
some Asian
That's true.
stars,
Yeah.
but I
You
think
got
that's
to
a good
draft
roster.
this year. I think Minnesota is the best job that a head coach could want to go
If
for.
you
right
could
now.
go heavy on the defense
Yeah.
draft this year, I mean, you could get
For
some
sure.
key pieces.
And we were talking about it earlier. Flores had a good scheme on defense. He does good at playing team defense. I mean, if Minnesota could, get a real offense or like an offensive coach, I guess, which, I think Flores is a pretty balanced coach. And then you have the team defense. That's a good roster. That's a playoff team for sure. I think
mean,
they
they
would have
almost
made the
were
playoffs.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They
should have
almost
made the
were
playoffs
anyways.
if they had a
Wow.
better coach. But
There's some silly playoff teams.
there are some silly
Yeah.
playoff teams.
Steelers.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
Steelers. I mean,
So-
that quote from Ben.
But before we go to the
Oh my
playoffs,
God.
we did a
shouldn't
whole
be.
episode. We did a whole episode on coaches that should have been fired. And I think we nailed pretty much all of them, right?
Yes.
We said Urban Meyer, Matt Nagy, Zimmer. We did not say Flores. I couldn't believe it.
I know.
Joe
Anyone
Judge.
Joe Judge,
Joe
finally,
Judge, yeah.
thank God.
Joe Judge.
We need to talk. We need to talk about the Broncos and the Steelers. I have like a quick 2-minute thing on the Broncos. Okay.
Go for it.
I go. Listen, Vic Fangio is. You knew what you were getting with Vic Fangio. He was.
I
Yes.
don't know if he
Defense.
should have deserved to be
Defense.
fired, though.
I think
I,
he
believe,
did.
I
I do.
believe it was time for him to go, not because he didn't do his job, but because that offense is too young and too talented
That's a good way
to
put
have
it.
a defensive mind first.
That's a
Okay,
They need someone
thank you,
else.
thank you. And I'm not I'm not trying to tell you that Vic Fangio underperformed. I'm not here trying to tell you that he was way above his head or way over
He
his
never
head.
had a quarterback.
Yeah,
If
like
you
first
think
of all,
about
the
it, he
quarterback.
Can we stop pretending that Teddy Bridgewater is good?
He's average.
Can we
He's
stop
average.
pretending that he's a good quarterback?
He's a fine.
He's average.
He's a fine stopgap quarterback.
Sure, which is
I
fine.
think what they're
disagree
at,
that-
but
He-
they
he's
need
a
to
good gap
get a
QB.
quarterback.
I think
Yeah.
they've had some good QBs that haven't just
They-
amounted to anything.
they're just-
I think
they're
they
just
have very
whiffing.
bad development.
They're whiffing
They have piss
so
poor
bad.
development. They
So-
have a few guys who could have been.
Yeah.
that
Maybe.
aren't-
So,
never
so
will be.
let me
true.
present this to you, okay?
Have a-
You've heard that you heard that they were interviewing Gerard Mayo, right? Or they requested to interview Gerard
That's
Mayo.
just silly to me.
It's silly.
bad.
I go,
Yeah.
this isn't like Vic Fangio. Yes, in terms of just because of the circumstance of the team, I believe had to like be moved on from. Okay,
Yeah.
but then why are you interviewing a defensive guy? And then I also heard they had interest in Flores as well. Correct.
Mhm.
So what I'm asking was the defense was fine.
Well,
Why
Yeah.
are you now
If I'm-
interviewing 2 new defensive guys?
I would definitely hire an offensive guy.
That's
just
what I'm
for
saying.
Who's the
offense.
Cowboys OC right
Kellen
now?
Moore.
I think that would be a good spot for him in Denver.
Hot take.
Let's
I
say
don't
you
think
you
he
get
would
a
do well as a coach.
Neither
I
do
think
I.
don't know.
Neither
I don't
do
know.
I.
an incredible offense. I mean, it's
Yeah, it's
He's
good.
an amazing coordinator.
All right, here
I
let's
don't think
do this. Let's think about this. For a scenario, Denver goes. I forget his name already. Was it Kellen Moore? They get Kellen Moore, and then they take like Matt Corral in the draft or something.
I do
The-
like
the
Matt
old-
Corral.
That's
the
what I
old-
was gonna say.
the
You get
oldest
an
quarterback.
offensive guy and
Yeah.
give him his
Give him a
choice
young
at
quarterback,
quarterback. Would
yeah.
that be Aaron Rodgers maybe?
Sure,
Or
yeah,
some,
even that.
Some
It-
free
they-
agent quarterback.
And then you
I
have a
have
good defense. You have Sertan who's going to
You can have
develop.
that defense to fall
Yeah.
back on.
I
Oh,
have
for
it down.
sure.
They're a quarterback away. I mean, they
That's what I'm
locked up-
saying,
They
yeah.
they did everything right in the terms of their receivers. I mean, they locked up all these young guys. If I'm a quarterback looking to move somewhere, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Don't forget that KJ Hamler's coming back too.
Yes.
Do not forget.
And
about
now you
KJ
have
Hamler.
Javonte Williams back there at running back.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
you have your guy.
nicely.
You have an
Real
offense.
nicely.
They're just a quarterback away.
Literally just need a
They're a quarterback
So
away
saying.
and a coach, and obviously a
present-
coach.
What I present to you is, again, why the hell are we here hearing about Denver Broncos interviewing defensive players? I go, once again, the defense was fine. Once again, the defense was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. And schematically, they did what they were supposed to do. We all, I'm not saying we've raved about them, but we all knew that in terms of being being formidable on the defensive side of the ball. Vic Fangio did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, Dom had to move his car. He's not going to be talking for about 5 minutes. Okay. So again, why are they here interviewing defensive guys? I present to you Clint Kubiak. I said that a couple weeks ago. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
The Vikings offensive coordinator. Perfect
That could
fit,
be very
glove and
interesting.
fit. Somebody, in my opinion, who gets the most out of
Gary's
Kirk Cousins.
already been there.
Yes, somebody who, exactly. Gary Kubiak won them a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Okay, so the fan base and the organization will be very, very, very well received of him.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you go after
I
him?
haven't heard that name thrown around at all.
Thank you.
I do really like
Somebody
it.
who's
never
gotten
It
the
fits.
most out of Kirk
You never
Cousins.
hear OCs thrown around. It's always
Right,
like a
yeah.
college coach or like someone who just got fired.
Yep.
Which, for the record, Mike Zimmer should not have another head coaching job.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. Neither should Matt Nagy. Those guys are defensive guys. Like, let them go be DCs, and I think they'd be pretty decent. DC somewhere else, but yeah, they just don't work as head coaches, and they should not be getting head coaches jobs again. Dan Campbell, I'm glad kept his job. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
If
I'm
he
happy.
got fired, there would have been an uproar.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Lions are
They
up and coming.
So, hey, what did I tell you? And you
Gino,
laughed at me.
I
You
still
laughed
laugh.
at me.
I'm still
I would
laughing
laugh
at
at you.
you.
I would laugh at you a couple weeks ago. I thought they were frauds. Ross St. Brown, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Jared Goff he's exceeded my expectations.
I don't think he's. I think Jared Goff is better than a lot of people give him
You
credit.
guys are he is
No, Will, I thought he was
horrible.
dog
No.
shit. I thought he was
so
dog
bad.
shit, and he proved
He's
to be
so bad.
possibly average. He is possibly
Possibly,
average.
I think
I'll give you that.
possibly
I'll give you
average.
possibly.
I thought he
I
was
think
dog
he's better
shit.
than Teddy Bridgewater.
No,
Contracts
no,
aside, I would
So
take
what
Jared
I say
Goff.
I
about
didn't
Jared
watch enough
Goff,
Broncos football.
I don't think that
I
Jared Goff is one of those guys where if he has the perfect scenario, like on the
Jared
Rams
Goff,
in 2018,
yeah.
yes, Jared Goff,
Oh, obviously.
then he can perform. Okay, what happened when they lost Todd Gurley and he kept on getting injury prone? He lost his play action partner, and then all of a sudden, he was in a trade that included they had to give their quarterback away and give up firsts and give up draft picks to get Matt Stafford. Okay,
You're asking
Jared
Matt Stafford to not throw to a wide open Brandon Cooks? Impossible. Can't do it.
Dude, what I'm saying is
Improbable.
Jared Goff isn't horrible. Jared Goff is somebody who plays like the scenario around him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with
The
that.
scenario
Yeah.
around him, for a little bit at least, was bad. Okay, but they always competed. They always somehow, some way found a way to stick in the game.
Talking about the Lions.
Yes, the Lions.
Yep.
Okay, and not because of Jared Goff. Pretty much almost in some games in spite of Jared Goff. So I think Jared Goff is exactly the type of starter that would be on a team like the Lions right now, a team that is rebuilding and looking for a quarterback in the future. He's a stopgap guy, like we said about
Exactly.
Bridgewater.
I think
Yeah,
if you get him a
stopgap,
better
okay.
OC, he'll do a lot better. Because they had Anthony Lynn, and
The Lions
he was
took
just not it.
The Lions took a
it.
couple thumpings this season, but
Yeah.
I'm telling
They
you,
did.
They gave a couple thumpings.
They gave.
They
a couple-
did.
They
It's
did
true.
well, dude.
They
Like I'm
did.
telling you, like I think Dan Campbell is the man for the job, and like he's
I
done
agree.
very well. And I think
I'll
he
give him
deserves a lot of
another
credit
year.
for that.
This year, look, they were a bad team, but he also rallied the troops. If he has another year like he did last year, we got to start talking about okay.
They played hard.
They-
I mean,
yeah,
that's
sure.
That's
Sure,
a
they-
bad team.
Yeah, sure.
That's
They
that's
played hard.
That's a perennial bad team.
It's
You
it
know what I
was
mean?
really bad. But like you can't justify, or you can justify it for a little bit,
That's
but
true.
you can't keep justifying. Oh yeah, like the team's playing bad, but they're for sure playing hard. Like at some point you need results. You need them at one point.
I agree that at some point you are going to have to ask for results, but can we please not underestimate a coach's ability to have an underperforming squad play
Yeah,
for them? Can we please not underestimate that ability?
it's true. He was good. He was good this year, but I'm gonna need to start seeing wins because we don't talk about the games where he threw away by going forward on 4th and 3 on his own 30 when Jared Goff is his quarterback. I don't accept that. I don't accept that as, oh yeah, well, I mean we're going for it. It's like, no, you're the Lions.
But what do they have to lose?
I feel like
a lot of games.
Well,
A lot of
I
football
look at it
games.
differently. I feel like if 4th and 3 on your own, like 30, I feel like you just gotta say at that point, like,
There you go.
I would disagree. I'd say he flourished.
He flourished.
He definitely flourished that one year.
I wouldn't say he.
That was
think,
one of the best offenses in recent.
It was
memory.
so
can't
good.
lie.
McVay held his
You were
hand
so
though. I
good.
mean, that's what
No,
I feel.
McVay
That's he
held his-
totally did, but it worked. It's like
it
he
did.
still did it. Like he can't.
It was
just like, oh, the coach
unbelievable
gave him
how
the play.
much-
He
how
didn't
much-
make that throw. You know what I
Sean
mean?
McVay is unbelievable at drawing up plays for.
He
I mean,
is.
anybody.
and
Look
listen,
at and you put Matt Stafford in that situation. I mean, you saw it this year.
Matt
It's
Stafford's
been excellent.
infinitely better.
Yeah,
That's what
and
they are.
believe
They
me,
beat
like,
them on the division.
Jared
That's what I'm
Goff by
saying.
no means has lived up to his #1 overall pick status, okay? But we have to
No.
listen, and I'm not here trying to tell you he's even good or you could win a Super Bowl with him because they almost did, but I really and truly do not believe that you could, okay? Like, it's sustainable. Anything can happen for a year. Remember, Case
I
Keenum went to
think
the
Goff
NFC
is-
Championship
is-
game.
yes,
Okay?
yeah.
But in my opinion, like I said, like Jared Goff for a rebuilding team is a fine 1-year starter, okay?
Sure.
Like, in my
Yeah.
opinion, he's a
Yeah,
fine
that's
1-year
fine.
starter, and I think he'd be one of the best backups in the league, if not the best.
I would not be opposed to the
Jared Goff?
Lions
Yeah,
looking
Jared-
for a
yeah.
quarterback in the draft, though. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
No,
I mean,
I wouldn't either.
no,
I
I
don't
mean-
think you can give Goff like 3+ years. I think this
No,
year and next
absolutely
year.
can't.
I
And-
think
and-
that
and
the
you
Lions have
have
to
to
develop
find
talent. No one's gonna. No quarterback.
I would
Aaron Rodgers
argue-
isn't jumping ship, man.
Yeah.
He's not gonna jump. You know,
Not to the
it's-
Lions, at
No,
least.
no quarterback is gonna be like, this is a serious destination I want to go. I mean, it's just not.
I mean, yeah, they're going to have to build that team from the ground up.
That's what I'm saying.
And you know what?
agree
I
with
think so far, so good. Panay Sewell's been a monster.
Panay
Amon-Ra
Sewell's
St.
blocked
Brown
it.
has
Andre
been
Swift
good.
is
He has
very
I
blocked
good.
think that
everybody.
He literally has blocked everyone.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul.
I don't know if you guys remember their 3rd-round pick. His name's Levi Onzariga.
Yes, I do.
Levi, he's somebody who I actually believe can develop.
I don't know.
Okay, he's
I don't know who that is. either.
he's like more of a defensive tackle. He's somebody who is more of a gap or a 1-tech guy, but he can develop into a 3-tech. So he has versatility. He can go both from the A gap or he could go from the B gap. I think that's a lot of potential right there. Will, we have to talk about the Steelers. This is a debate that you and I are gonna have, I think, till the end
They're
of
one
time.
of the
Well,
best.
it's-
They're one of the
I
best
haven't
bad
heard this.
teams.
Of all
Will,
time.
I want you to explain why you're disgusted by Pittsburgh.
Dude, they're an awful football team. Didn't Big is that all right? Was
Pretty
that
bad.
bait or did Big Ben say that?
No,
I
I
guess
watched it.
he
He
dead
legit
serious.
said
He
that.
legit said that they. Yeah,
He said, "quote They should not be.
They
there.
shouldn't.
They are one of the
absolutely-
worst 14 seeds. I mean, bad.
they're bad.
team.
They are bad.
Ben
They are a
understood.
bad
We're not
football team.
supposed to win.
They're not, dude. They literally have Ben Roethlisberger has the mobility of an elephant in mud in the pocket. He cannot move in the If you ask him to move an inch, he can't do it. He's got a weak arm, and I'm sick of all this. Oh, the Big Ben send off. The Big Ben send off.
screw the Big Ben
He does not
send-off.
deserve to be in the playoffs. Did we not already give Ben his send off during the shitty last game at Heinz that he had or whatever? Didn't we not already give him his send off where he's crying and he's like high five? That should have been it. This team is horrible. This team is so
I can't
bad.
be happier to see him leaving, and I can't be
I'm
happier.
so happy.
Honestly, the fact that he's gonna get to go to Arrowhead and get his ass.
I
smacked
can't
by the
wait.
Chiefs.
I can't wait for
They're
the
gonna
Chiefs
get
to hang
bumped. They're
50
gonna
on
get
him.
bumped.
I literally cannot wait. First of all, good roster for they have talent, but
Wait a minute, you just said the team was ass.
good players. Sorry,
The
my bad.
Steelers.
Yeah, they have some talent.
Well,
there.
okay,
Look,
but
all right,
what's
look,
their
you
I
have
think
to-
if the
yeah.
Steelers got Aaron Rodgers,
Sure.
immediately the favorites.
Sure.
I don't think it's.
But like,
close.
here's the thing: you have all right. You got playmakers. You got T.J. Watt. The secondary's still okay, and you have a decent receiving core with as much as I don't like Claypool, I think Deontay Johnson is very. No, I like Deontay Johnson.
Devontae Adams.
That's
2.0.
what I'm hearing.
Serious.
That's what I'm hearing.
Imagine he got Devontae
No, I'm
Adams to go
saying
to Pittsburgh with him
it's
too.
it's
I'm
not
telling
it's
you.
not
I
that
don't
far
like the
fetched.
Steelers,
No,
but,
it's not that far fetched. I agree.
I
with
don't
it.
think they're
But
leaving,
the Pittsburgh,
personally, but-
just as a team, is awful. They are not a good football team. They should not
And
be
how
in the
come under
playoffs.
Tomlin they've never had a losing season?
They
So, okay, to be fair, they've been like 8-8 or 9-8 or whatever. What
Okay,
are they this year?
They
like
went
9-8-1?
8-8 with Devlin Hodges as their quarterback.
Okay,
They've
but their
found ways
defense
to
that
win.
year was
They have
very
found ways to
good.
win.
They listen,
their defense
no
has a
Their
matter-
defense has been their identity, though.
Yeah.
The amount of games that T.J. Watt has kept the Steelers in this year is gross. He is worth every dime he got paid and probably more. He's won them at least like 5 games.
Same
Like,
with
it's
Cam Hayward,
ridiculous.
too.
Cam Hayward, too.
has had a fantastic
And he's
season.
he's approaching his mid-30s. He's approaching being
Yeah.
on the wrong side of 30. Okay, Dom, you smoking in there? He's like, let me tell you something about the Steelers, okay? And Will, I know you disagree with me, but this is fact, okay? This is fact. Ben Roethlisberger has held this team back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Ben Roethlisberger, listen,
Yeah.
like,
And that's an understatement.
whatever. You find.
He's
a way,
imprisoned
Yes,
them. I would say.
You find a way to win with Ben Roethlisberger, like you said, Sims. Like you win ugly, okay, and I get that 100%. Ben Roethlisberger cannot extend the field with his arm.
No.
He can't. Okay.
Or with his legs.
It's
or
even
with
it's,
or with
10 times
I think
worse
it's
what
like
Drew Brees was.
I think it's historic how much he's held.
It's-
That's what I'm saying.
it's-
Like Drew Brees could get the ball out to Michael
That's- I
Thomas.
agree.
But he's
Stuff.
quick. He's quick.
Exactly.
That's
Ben
the thing.
Roethlisberger runs around like a fucking turtle. Dude. He's awful.
it's so bad.
It's like I think I could do a better job.
Dude, it's
like,
historically
really that
bad.
No,
It's
Ben's,
historically
Ben's
bad.
Ben's been. You gotta give me. He's been kind of accurate in like the 5 to 10. He's put the ball where it needs to be.
But do you want a quarterback who's amazing 5 to 10 but can't throw past
I mean,
the
if
first
he's
down?
he's won a couple games.
Poor
it's like,
Najee Harris.
If
The
it's
fourth and
the amount of
15,
screens,
you're done.
the amount of screens that
the offense
Najee
they run
caught
is
and
dumb.
died.
I mean,
he
he
just
threw
died.
what 40 pass attempts the other night. Had
Oh
102 yards. I mean, that's like 126.
That's a
maybe.
historic performance
It's dog
right
shit.
there.
It's dog shit.
It's
You throw
historically
40
dog
passes.
shit.
That's what I'm saying.
What,
It's just-
so what I want to tell you is, the defensive coordinator, when you go up against the Steelers, they have, I wouldn't say an easy, because he's still a veteran. He still knows how to pick defenses. He's seen all the schemes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a very young offensive line that isn't going to be fully developed, I'd say, in about 2 to 3 years. Very, very young. And I think, honestly, that was a good thing to do, because whether or not you bring in a rookie in the draft or you bring in a veteran, by year 2, next year they're going to be much better. Okay. And by year 3, I think they're going to be pretty damn good. Okay. What I see in this Pittsburgh Steelers team.
hopefully.
Yeah.
That's a big if, you know?
I don't think so. I mean, listen, if they can fully get healthy, which I believe they will, if they can fully get healthy and if they can really and truly be themselves and play it to their identity, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be good. Okay,
I
they
do
have
too,
a
but they need
have
the
a formidable
quarterback.
exactly. They have a formidable defense. The defensive coordinator knows what's happening. They go, this ball's not going any more than 15 yards, and that's probably on Big Ben's good days. Okay, they have an easy job. What happens when they get a quarterback that can extend the field?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, what happens when they get someone?
Remember when Ben could extend the field?
Yes.
They were really
Yes,
good.
possibly
True.
who could move. What happens? Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, what happens when they possibly get somebody who can move? Get to your point, Gino? Hey, you know what? Listen. Okay, everyone knew that Najee Harris was getting the ball. Everyone knew. Okay, yeah, everyone and their grandmother knew he was getting the ball.
They set him up
My
to
point to
die.
you is,
Yeah.
this
His
Will,
usage was ridiculous.
yes, Will, this Pittsburgh Steelers team is not ass.
They are.
They're
I'm
not
sorry.
ass.
I'm sorry. There
I
are
think
so
they
many
are
more
ass with
deserving
Big
teams.
Ben.
There's so many
I think
more
they're gonna
deserving teams.
They're gonna have a tough time next year because they're
Yeah.
gonna have to develop someone. I don't think. I mean, unless they get like a veteran that's ready to go.
Teddy
but
Bridgewater.
no, I think like I don't think that's a good fit there. Honestly, I think they need someone that can run like an actual pro style offense. And like,
That's
you know,
true.
Yeah, because that's what Mike Tomlin is. Like
Mike Tomlin can.
Yeah,
As much as I really do not like Mike Tomlin and his strategies, but like I mean, he's been consistent.
Hey,
and
maybe the
he's done-
Steelers reach and get like Bryce Young, or is he's next year's draft?
He's
Yeah,
next
he's
year.
Alright,
next
my
year.
bad.
Say
Okay.
you get a Teddy Bridgewater though, and then you play bad enough
I mean,
to get the first.
So
pick,
the
get Bryce
thing,
Young.
the thing that I like about Matt Corral too, and and obviously that's kind of like a weird little jump, okay? But Matt Corral is somebody who
Formidable.
when we waiting all night to say formidable. Matt Corral is somebody who can run, but chooses to stay in the pocket first, and that's what I like
I
about
think
Matt
he's gonna
Corral.
stay in the pocket now. He broke his leg.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
That's
I
quite the
think
incentive
it
to
is quite
stay.
the incentive.
I agree. Oh, look
What
at
is-
that! You
what
got
did
him
I
to
say?
agree with.
What did I say?
There's a delay. I forget what I
He
said.
doesn't even know what you
Yeah.
said. But anyway, I think if they're able to get Matt Corral, like you bring a dynamic that the defense has to prepare for, but you have kind of that pro style guy first who can run Tomlin's offense, but if stuff goes to shit, take and run. And that also decreases Najee Harris's usage rate, which extends his career, which over the years with your young offensive line, Teddy
Wow.
Bridgewater could play at Bridgewater State.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he probably could. We're awful. Like we're so
Yes,
bad.
they are.
They're so bad.
Listen, Sean Howie is when Sean Howie is a starter on your roster.
Oh, he's not. So that's the worst
he's not
part.
anymore.
No,
he's not. Oh, okay. Well, I haven't kept up with my BSU football. Forgive me.
Don't worry, neither have I. It's all good. I go
some
to
school pride, would you?
Nope, I go to one game a year, and it's the homecoming game, and we sometimes win. I think we've won both times that I've gone.
I think homecoming next year is actually Framingham versus Bridgewater. So
it's all right. So
see you there.
that streak will be broken. It's been real.
Speaking about the AFC North, I think the Browns have a pretty good roster.
Of course they do.
I said this in my notes. The Browns are not hopeless, and I feel like everybody kind of thinks
Baker needs to go elsewhere.
They're going to be back next
and they want Baker, and I heard that Baker doesn't want to be in Cleveland, and Cleveland wants Baker still, but I just think it's a bad environment.
But why do they want Baker?
Well, that's puzzling.
That is puzzling.
Well, I honestly think that Baker Mayfield is somebody who got the bad rap this year. The man couldn't stay healthy. Okay, Cleveland was down bad. What'd you say?
I'm reading Jerome Bettis, the boss.
I do love Jerome Bettis, but I think that I didn't really have much to say about Baker Mayfield. Okay, but I think that he's somebody who, if you gave him the correct weapons, he's somebody who could play around that environment. And that's what they did. That's what. No. I'm saying they have.
Oh,
okay, and he's proven when he could stay healthy, he could be somebody who is your quarterback. If that makes sense, like he's somebody who you could do a lot worse than Baker Mayfield. You could do a lot better. Okay, but you could do a lot worse. In terms of the number one overall pick, I would say obviously no. Like he hasn't earned that right. If anything, it should have been Allen or Lamar Jackson.
Nobody was going to take Allen.
Could you imagine if they did that?
That would have been
Actually, very early in the process, Mel Kiper did have him going number one overall.
Insane.
Yeah.
Back then, I thought Darnold was the number one pick.
So I thought Darnold was filthy.
Like, I don't think Stefanski's very helpful with Baker because when I watch Browns games, which I feel like I've watched quite a few this season, but I've watched and like I just feel like they're all bombs that Baker's throwing in. I mean, like maybe he's just sitting on it too long. Maybe the routes are there. And
he's injured too. We got to keep in mind.
But I mean,
he's
just like even if he's injured, don't you think you'd want to get it off quick? You know, something fast, like not wait, sit in the pocket and drop bombs down the field that just don't really go.
I feel like. I think OBJ was a great weapon for him, and they let him go, which, you know, we all know how that ended. But I think if you get him some real weapons, Jarvis Landry, I'm sorry, he's not in anymore. He's not good at football. He's not.
He's for sure hands down here.
Yeah. I think that he deserves a spot on the roster, but he is definitely he's overrated.
You need to upgrade there. And Donovan Peoples-Jones is good, Michigan man. Shout out the boys.
Yes,
but you need to do better than that for his receivers. Rashard Higgins, he's all right, but it's Baker. You need good receivers to elevate his play.
I'm interested in seeing Anthony Schwartz develop.
I mean, you had Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah,
pissed him away. You absolutely pissed him away because you didn't.
I love how people think that just like Odell isn't good. Like,
look at him with the
he has one good catch. Dude has some of the best hands in the league, and he's a very good route runner. And people are just
like top 10 or anything.
No,
he's good.
Dude, but Stefanski doesn't people literally, and I've talked to people.
I can attest to this.
And they paid Austin Hooper,
dude. I'll never forget drafting him. He sucked. He was so bad that year. In the first year, after Atlanta, I thought, maybe this guy could be good. They had no passing game to the tight end. Austin Hooper got me like maybe 6 points. That was it
all season.
Like,
and they drafted Harrison Bryant in the 3rd round.
But you're gonna do all that and then have receivers like Jarvis Landry, who's a slot receiver. Like, how does that make any penny?
And you had David Njoku. I mean, David
Njoku hasn't been used. He was a former 1st round pick.
Exactly, and they didn't use him for anything.
He's a very good cancer in the lock. I think he's talking about Odell Beckham Jr.
No, I don't. Listen, I don't think that's true either. I think guys like Odell. I think they do.
You think guys like Odell? You think?
I think
guys like Odell.
I think Odell is not a.
I would like Odell if he was my teammate.
I think Odell is was in a bad. I think he hated it.
I agree with that.
Well, first of all, he got traded. He didn't ask.
It's freaking Cleveland. I mean, he was in New York. That's a big market. And now he's playing in LA
too. I mean, Christ. But now he's in Los Angeles. I think he is flourishing there because of that. Mostly because of McVay and Stafford.
But still, he had a big time 4th down conversion last week, and then he had the touchdown followed up too. Like, this guy has very, very good hands, and he's a good route runner. He's not like something top 10 or crazy, but I'm gonna put my dad Bill Nick on blast right now because he's been like, Odell has had one good catch, and that's who he is. And I totally disagree with that. I think Odell is still one of the not best guys in the league, but I think he's the upper half of receivers for sure.
Playing
like
one
top
of the most
16.
Premier.
Sure, yeah.
And like probably I'll go to say the most premier offense in the league. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
If you're a wide
but
receiver,
you got to keep in mind, Robert Woods went down,
play in
and then he had to fill in very quick.
Spread zone or wide zone offense.
So I will say to your point, Sims, I agree that this team has a good offensive line, and I agree that they are somebody who does like a team that does need to go through their running game. However, I think that leads to a shorter window, in my opinion, because the way you look at it, if you run you do have two very good running backs, but what happens when you pay? What happens when you pay running backs? Okay, you paid Chubb and you paid Hunt two long-term deals.
Both of them.
Then you start to lose that offensive line. You start to lose some defensive pieces. I personally, and I agree with you that is the type of team they are. That they need to run through it.
That's definitely their identity.
Yes, it is their identity, and for now they have the horses. But I will say they are prone to injury, as we saw this year. I mean, they had Dearness Johnson at one point, who nobody heard of. I believe he was playing in the XFL.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was
playing in the XFL. I think that leads to a shorter window. You know, it allows Baker to get healthy. I completely agree.
It also,
I
completely agree. Opens up the passing game, obviously. For Baker,
obviously.
who really needs the help there.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Because when Baker feels as though he needs to put the onus on his shoulders, then he becomes not good.
Exactly.
And you can't have Baker throwing like 30 times a game. Limit him to 25, and that is it.
I think at this point he's
especially while you're injured.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think at this point we found out he's somebody when the team is built around a certain way. He's somebody who can. You're welcome. He's somebody who can play in a system, but he's not somebody who can put the team on his back. Be like, let me get this. Okay, let me handle it.
No,
okay.
I doubt the Browns actually move on from Baker this year. I think they need to. I think they should.
I believe that he should be given this year, and then if the same things continue, even though it wasn't healthy.
Well, that's going to be his contract year.
Yeah, so
year after
he could be franchise tag. Don't forget.
He could, yeah.
So
I don't think I would.
That's a big money tag.
I really don't
for
think
Baker.
I would.
Yeah, I believe that he should be given this year, and then if that's it. And then that's it. If he doesn't perform like he did last or 2 years ago, at least, then cut bait and start anew. I think with the roster they have presently constructed, though, I don't think you draft a rookie. I think you go after a vet.
I agree with that. I think they're win now. Their offensive line isn't going to stay healthy forever. They're not going to have them forever. They're not going to have healthy backs for forever. They're not going to have Hunt and Chubb forever, clearly, because,
It's weird to say they are in win now. But
they are in win now when they really missed the playoffs.
What's their defense? Ward, John Johnson, Miles Garrett. That's a good defense.
Denzel Ward, Miles
they got
Malik Jackson.
Oh, God.
He's pretty good.
I butchered every time.
Like Taki or whatever.
Newsome is good.
Yeah, Newsome.
They just took the Karamaru Osu.
Jeremiah
Owusu-Koramoah there. I just butchered that every time we did the draft. Every time we did it, I got it wrong. But I do agree the Browns are in win now mode. It's hard we don't make the playoffs, but I agree with the offensive line isn't going to stay healthy forever. So it's time. It's becoming time where you need to upgrade that wide receiver.
I really hope that they amount to something. Whether that be go to the AFC Championship or something, or maybe make the Super Bowl, I just hope they amount to something.
And one that would
They've
be
been
funny
through so much.
If they go to the AFC Championship game and they're up in the fourth quarter, I hope John Elway comes out of retirement and leads an 80-yard drive and leads the Broncos to the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm hoping for. Should we jump into the playoffs?
We should.
All right,
playoffs.
Playoffs. All right, so we'll start with the AFC, and we'll just go down and go game by game, I guess. So we talked about them a little bit already, but Kansas City versus Pittsburgh. It is going to be in Kansas City. What do we got?
Ben's
we'll go
funeral.
Yes.
52-10.
It's
I like it.
17 Chiefs. Ready?
Don't say
7 Steelers.
Okay.
17-7. Okay. I think that Big Ben's gonna keep this close. It is gonna be his last hoorah, but his last game he's gonna keep it close. I go 17-7 Kansas City.
Give me 27-10 Kansas City. I don't think it's
give me
close.
34-10.
I have the Steelers have scored so many points in the second half. Yeah, they're not going to score in the first. They'll be lucky if they get 3. I mean, they're not going to score in the first half. They're going to score some touchdowns in the second half.
Big Ben warms up his noodle arm.
They're going to play. You know what I mean? They're going to play some football. 38-24 KC still.
Can I please just say I'm so happy that you two brought notes, man.
Yeah.
Dom and Cam are the first 2 people we've had for guests that have brought and written their own notes. I love that. Dude,
I did my research.
We're running this back next week.
I did my research.
Run it back. No, this
has
been great. All right, so we all have Chiefs. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Sweet.
No,
all right, I don't think that was close. New England Buffalo.
All right, so as a fan, I'm gonna say New England.
Okay.
Like me, Colin in the sports group chat, me and him are kind of on the same page with this. I have faith that the Patriots are going to win, but if I'm a betting man, if I have to put my life on it, I'm gonna put the Bills. And I don't know what the score is gonna be.
The weather's bad.
No, I know.
It's bad this weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
Like they don't like to play. They don't like to come out and play. I mean,
but
it's a playoff game.
Easily see Josh Allen walking out there and just like
Lighting
shitting all over us.
Yeah.
Like I could so see it.
I will say
I
this.
think Jalen Mills has COVID. I saw that somewhere. I don't know if he's gonna play. That might help our chances.
I'll say this.
If Jalen Mills is out,
yes.
I love that. No, look, I'm gonna take the Patriots. I will say I do think the Patriots have a real shot, not even me being a fan. I think we have a better overall roster, and I think the weather helps us. But I will 110% stand corrected. If we lose and Josh Allen goes crazy, sure. What more can you do? He's done it to us once. It's like, okay, what more can you do? If Josh Allen goes crazy and he's like scrambling in the pocket and he's throwing just like darts down the field, and he throws for 300 yards, and he just rushes for every touchdown, I'd be like, okay, what more can you do? I'm going to go the Patriots, though. I'm going to go the Patriots. I think those are the most likely odds.
I actually agree with that score. 23-17.
I had it 17-10 New England.
17-10.
I'm gonna
23-7. I see that. I like it, and I agree with it.
The defense is gonna. There's no way they're gonna get embarrassed as much. I mean, I just don't see it happening. I think
give me 20-17. I think it's gonna be a close, but like
give me 21-17.
All right.
Oh, like Bills.
All right.
Okay, fine. I'll say Patriots.
Yeah.
No, stick with your
It's not for my life. I'm gonna do the fun pick. 21-17 Patriots.
That's fair. Conti, what do you got?
That's what I said. I agree with 23-17. That Mike Sim said.
All right.
I agree with that.
I like it.
What we got next?
I messed with it. Okay. I want to say right now, the next game we have is the Raiders and the Bengals. I'm going to say this right now. I have been so wrong about the Raiders that it's like laughable at this point, and I don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. If the Raiders win the Super Bowl, I will buy a Derek Carr jersey and wear it to every podcast.
I already have a Derek Carr.
That is what I will put on. I will pay the $120 and get like not one of the fake Chinese. I will get a real Derek Carr jersey and wear it regularly. If the Raiders win the Super Bowl, those are the stakes that I'm on right now. That's how confident I am that this team should be picking top 10 in the draft and not in the playoffs. I am furious that this Raiders team could even have a shot at a Super Bowl.
Another team that lost 5 in a row and still played
Rich Bisaccio deserves so much credit, and he should remain the permanent.
Absolutely be hired.
He should remain the permanent head coach.
Sure.
If I'm the management, why not? You know what I mean? This guy he's in the building. You know what I mean? Hire him. Give him the job.
Can I say I'm not mad at specifically anyone right now in the Raiders organization. Like, I like the coach. I don't hate Derek Carr. I just hate the idea that they're a good team because they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
They lost their coach. They had so many things. The locker room.
Their coach doesn't make them a bad team.
No, but they should be in shambles.
They should quit. I mean, honestly, there should be like
after Henry Ruggs, John Gruden, everything that has happened there, that team should be in shambles, and they're not.
Fun story.
Okay, and is that not a credit to Rich Bisaccio?
Sure, yeah.
And is that also another credit to them being, at least, even if they're not the most talented team in the world, is that not a credit to their resilience?
I think they believe in him.
Yeah,
yes.
But I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm just furious that works. Like, they should be in shambles, and they're not. And it's like my reality is just screwed up. Like, a team should not lose their head coach and like compete with the Bucks the next week.
Yeah.
Why does that piss you off?
They just shouldn't be good. It just rubs me the wrong way.
I think it also has to do with the fact that you pick against them every single week and literally.
No, because I've picked them a couple of times and then they lose.
Derek Carr has put in the work and he's led the team. He's led the offense. I mean, and you played most of this season without Darren Waller. I mean, Darren Waller has missed extended periods of time through the middle of the season.
He is back now, though.
And you have like Foster Moreau at your tight end.
All right, we're taking a look at Willie Nick picks because I'm getting over
Hold
this.
on. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, keep going. I gotta find it.
So who do we? Who do we think wins the game? Cincy or Oakland?
Cincy.
I think it's going to be Cincy, and I think it's also not Oakland.
Whatever, I don't care.
No,
I'm sorry, Las Vegas.
I think it was a fun story. Derek Carr got in the playoffs. I think it'll be a better game than people think it's going to be, but I still think the Bengals are going to win. Relatively easy.
The Bengals, like I saw this thing, the Bengals have scored 41. Maybe if you want to pull that up after the Bengals, they've scored 41 points in like 5 separate games, 41 points. So I got Bengals winning 41-38.
41-30. You
I think
think
it's gonna be a
shootout?
close game.
Okay.
I think the Raiders are gonna play a tough game. I think and I also think that Cincy has problems on defense, but it's not going to be exposed by.
I don't
what
think
they
there's
have.
problems.
So,
Okay.
Exposed by what they
No,
have.
I'll
Are you
go
ready?
35-24 Bengals. That's what I'll
In my opinion, we are going to see the Bengals shit their pants.
I think. Okay. I
listen-
think that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen first.
Okay,
round.
listen, like they're riding high and mighty right now because they beat Kansas City from a comeback win against Kansas City in overtime.
Mhm.
Huge accomplishment. I do not want to take that away from them. I think if they had to go all out to do that, and they don't even have to buy as the #1 seed, what do they have left in the tank? You know, in my opinion, I mean, your team is led by a second-year player who's I'd say close to essentially
They've been
a
going
rookie.
nuclear though.
They have,
Like,
and
I'm
I'm not
like,
here to deny that.
nuclear.
They don't have a good offensive line at all.
Jonah Williams is okay.
Jonah Williams is
He's
okay.
okay.
Joe Mixon makes them look really good.
Yes, and they do have that running game. I think that Yannick Ngakoue has been a huge, like under. Sorry, go ahead.
Are we looking at what I'm looking at? This doesn't make sense. How do you lose 48-9 to
I'm
the
picking
Chiefs
the Las Vegas
and then
Raiders.
No?
I'm picking the Las
Look
Vegas
at the teams
Raiders.
they've beaten. They've beaten
What
the
score?
Chargers.
What score?
I'm
They've
picking
beaten
them
the Colts.
35-24.
They got thumped by the
35-24 Las Vegas
They
Raiders.
beat the Cowboys.
I don't-
They
It's-
beat
it makes
some
no
serious
sense,
teams.
Dom. It
Well,
makes
I don't
no
think the
sense.
Cowboys had.
Dak.
Was Dak playing that
I don't.
game?
I don't know.
I think
Here,
it
let's
was
go through the winning pick because this has been a long time coming. For how many times I've picked the Raiders to win and they haven't. All right, so in Week 15, I picked the Raiders, or I picked the Browns over the Raiders. I was wrong. We'll go through. There's somewhere I definitely picked the Raiders for sure.
Kansas City.
It's the Kansas City. I picked Kansas City. This is the only one that I got right, like, throughout the year. So that one I got right. There's a million this year that I just straight up, like, did not get. This is one where I picked them over the Giants, and I think they lost. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Holy
Like,
shit, you lose to the Giants.
I don't pick upsets that's not true. I pick upsets a good amount. Okay, but I will say, for the most part, I've been right on the Raiders. I have been. I think that they're gonna win this one game. I think that this is going to be a lesson for Burrow and Chase, okay, because very, very rarely do you have
They're essentially rookies.
Yeah, very rarely do
Jamar
you
Chase
have
is, but-
second-year players, like a team full of them, go this hot and then go on a deep, deep playoff run. And that's what I think a lot of people after beating the Chiefs are saying since he's going to do. I think that as of right now, just for this year, the more experienced team is going to win. Okay, Derek Carr is going to be highly, highly motivated after not being able to start in the playoffs a few years back. I don't know. I think it's going to be 35-24 Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, I do. And I think that this is going to be fuel for Burrow, Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon to get their ass on the better offensive line.
I'm gonna say
Dr. Fauci, shut him up.
I'm gonna say 28-9 Bengals, and I think the Bengals are prone to getting not upset in the playoffs because they're a young
Marvin
team,
Lewis,
but
dude. When's the last? He didn't.
They
win.
haven't won. He
That's
hadn't
what
won
I'm
a
saying.
playoff game in
They're
15
cursed.
years.
If they win, I mean, this would be huge for them. But I don't see them losing.
I don't
really
see them getting exposed. I could
They're
see them getting
they're
exposed by
so
maybe the Chiefs, maybe the
two-dimensional.
Titans.
I mean,
but
they
I
have
don't think it's the Raiders.
They have an unreal run game and they have a great pass game. I don't see the Raiders being able to match that with what they have. I just don't.
all right, well, we'll move to the NFC right now.
I'm
We'll do
not
the
just
other wild
talking
card
about
there.
Carr.
Well, we'll move to the other side. Okay, so we have Philly, Tampa Bay. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think Tampa
Philly
Bay
hasn't
wins.
beat a playoff team.
They
That's
haven't been a
fair.
playoff team,
I-
but
it's
Tampa
insane.
also has not looked the best in the last couple weeks. Okay,
35-7.
they opened it up against.
35-7.
They opened it. Listen, I'm not predicting an upset, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a better game than a lot of us are expecting. Okay, but
He's
Tampa's going to win. I think it's going to be what? I'd say about 43-31.
No,
43-31.
No.
43-31.
Stop the
Tom
cap.
Brady has
Tampa Bay's
Tom Brady has a lot of issues right now.
Tampa
Tom Brady
Bay's
is in
gonna
a
win.
lot of trouble.
No.
Like,
Besides that, the Eagles, the reason that they've kind of made their way into the playoffs has been the run game. Tampa Bay has the best rush defense in the league for the
Miles
past
Sanders.
2-3 years. I don't know. They've had it for a
Non-factor.
while. But I don't see the Eagles coming into Tampa Bay and just beating up on them and putting 31 on the board.
Brady's going to be ready for that game.
It's going to be one of those games that's high scoring and that feels like a blowout, but it's closer than you mean. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I could see the Bucks coming out, putting up like 20 or something. Then kind of cooling off. Good. The Eagles kind of coming down.
I'm a fan of him, and I saw on Twitter a lot of Eagles fans don't even like their own quarterback, and they're like, we need to flip him. He is not the. This kid is like. I think
that Nick Sirianni has actually constructed a offense, keeping him within his strengths and not making him do anything crazy.
I think Hurts has only gotten better every year. He's never gotten worse after.
I'm not here trying to tell you that Jalen Hurts is a superstar, but I think that he's somebody who's capable of putting up a decent fight. Listen, if Taylor Heineke was capable of putting up a fight against a fully loaded Tampa Bay team last year, this is a team that has energy. If Taylor Heineke's capable of putting up a fight against this team in the playoffs, then so isn't Jalen Hurts.
They have championship experience now, though. I think the defense is going to be better. Starting off. Give me Tampa. I'm going to take Tampa. I think it's not going to be close. It's going to be like 27 to 3, 10.
I'll say
I don't like
10,
Cam
3.
said, best rushing defense against the best rushing offense. I think Tampa wins. I think
Sanders is going to be a non-factor. I mean, they're just good.
Happy Jalen Hurts made the playoffs.
No, me too. Yeah,
I can't believe they made the playoffs.
I didn't know that they were even in contention for it, and then all of a sudden they clinched.
I picked them to win the playoffs purely off my dislike for Mike Zimmer making the playoffs.
I agree.
I love Jalen.
I agree. No, I agree with Mike Sims when he says that. I agree that he won't last long in the league, but I think for the sake of one game, he's capable of putting up a fight. For the sake of one game.
Sure.
I could see him
There's a few anomalies. I don't know. I feel like his arm is pretty good. I feel like he could start throwing. I think that's what Lamar tried to do this year, and then he had to end up, running all over the place. And then
because he had no wide receivers.
That's what I'm saying. And then it just ends up.
That's not true. That's not true. Lamar Jackson had weapons.
Marquise Hollywood-Brown is.
Lamar
overrated.
Jackson.
Mark Andrews is a great.
Mark Andrews is the best receiver on that team.
Top 3 tight end. Hollywood Brown is a vertical threat who can take the top off of a defense. He can.
Yeah, and then drop it.
I'm not here trying to tell you he's a superstar.
He bounced back a little bit this year, but I don't know if I would call him a solid receiver.
And if you dare try to sit here and say Rashad Bateman. It's Rashad Bateman?
Yes, I like Bateman.
He's okay at best.
And they have Sammy Watkins, who is a decent.
He'll show up for weeks 1 through 3.
Stop.
Decent.
Sammy
Stop it.
He's a decent wide receiver.
How much is Sammy Watkins paying?
The Eagles are
That's
getting
what I
thumped.
want to know.
I said he's a.
The Eagles are getting thumped.
I swear to God.
How did we get to the Ravens?
You guys said that. You guys think I acting like I said he's the second coming of Christ. I said he's decent.
You said live on the show that Sammy Watkins had so much value to that championship team on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, so San Fran Dallas now? Is it San Fran Dallas now?
Yeah, okay, we'll go to that. All right, so San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. God, I cannot wait for the 49ers to roll into Dallas and absolutely steamroll the hopes of these Cowboys fans. Yep. I have been criticized so much for saying that the Cowboys aren't legit the entire year. It was one of our first shows of the NFL season. I said the Cowboys aren't for real. Their defense isn't good. Micah Parsons has been really good, and Trayvon Diggs has been a turnover machine.
Trayvon Diggs is foul.
Trayvon Diggs is awful.
Sure.
He's given up over 1,000 yards through the air.
Fraudulent.
Oh my God.
It is fraudulent.
Don't get me started,
dude,
please.
I really like Micah Parsons though. I think this team does have a future, but this is not it. This is not it, especially versus the 49ers. They have a better coach. And they have a better, honestly, in my opinion, they have a better run game, and I think the offense is run better than the Cowboys.
This has been one
of especially when you don't have Gallup now. It's a massive loss.
This is
Cedric Wilson in the last few weeks has stepped up.
He's very good.
He stepped up. I'm not here trying to tell you it's sustainable. I'm not telling you it's sustainable, but over the past few weeks, he stepped up. Potentially, he is going to continue to ride that hot hand and still be reliable for Prescott.
That's fair.
I'm not here trying to say Dallas is going to win. It's going to be a shootout.
I mean, look at what Dallas did.
I disagree.
I don't think it'll be a shootout.
I disagree.
I think it's going to be a close game, or the Cowboys are just going to take it and ride.
No, give me 17-10 San Fran. I think it's going to be low. I think it's going to be low. I think it's going to be a defensive battle.
I don't think that Dallas is going to be able to. Oh, now that I think about it, no, I'm going to stick with it. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to keep up with the versatility of Deebo Samuel. I don't. So.
I'm going to say 20.
I think Debo's a fraud.
No.
He's really good, but I think his
I've been high on Debo.
It's really good design again, and I mean you can't like Falcon.
Okay, hold on. Let's take this as is Jimmy G gonna play?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that changes the complexity because now
that team's been to the Super
And
Bowl
Gino
before.
hates Trey Lance.
Yeah.
That's the other half
Trey
of it.
Lance,
because
like-
I'm not here telling you Trey Lance is good, but Trey
You're
Lance
saying
can
the
run.
exact opposite. in
Trey
fact.
Lance can run. Okay, so
He's not. I would. Are you like advocating he starts this playoff?
no,
game?
I'm not.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm not. But I'm here telling you just due to Jimmy G's injury or whatever it may be. Okay.
Okay.
What I'm here trying to tell you is the Dan Quinn will have to account for a whole other aspect of the quarterback if Trey Lance is playing. Okay, but Jimmy G has been there. Okay, Jimmy G deserves respect. It was one throw away to Emmanuel Sanders from beating the Kansas City Chiefs, who everyone wants to anoint Patrick Mahomes as the greatest quarterback of all time. Okay, he wouldn't have won if it wasn't for Jimmy G
I was on
overthrowing
that.
Emmanuel
Patrick
Sanders.
Mahomes is insanely talented, but he's a product of Andy Reid.
Yep,
Hey,
and Aaron Rodgers.
that's
Aaron
hot.
Rodgers.
That's
Aaron
hot.
I
Rodgers-
don't know about that.
Aaron Rodgers
but-
is better right now than Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Aaron
Okay,
Rodgers-
you know what?
Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers
Wait
is
till,
yeah,
we,
yeah,
get,
yeah.
wait till we
crop.
get to the Packers.
Aaron Rodgers is cream of
Just
the crop.
wait.
Cream of the crop.
Yep,
I'm telling
and you know what? I go
I got-
San Francisco. I go San Francisco
ahead.
45, Dallas 37.
Wow,
I
I have
got-
them scoring 17.
I got
45.
San Fran 35, Dallas 24.
I'm saying
That's
San Fran 27.
14?
No, Dallas like 20.
all right.
Okay.
So we'll jump to the
Well, no.
Cardinals and or do you go one more?
Oh wait, no, Cardinals and Rams.
Okay.
My bad.
Well,
my
we'll
bad.
jump to the Cardinals and the Rams. I was very high on the Cardinals at the beginning of the year, and they've disappointed me very, very much.
Cliff
Talk
Kingsbury
about
collapsed.
fraud.
I don't
That's
know
all
if
about
he's the
fraud.
coach.
Kingsbury sucks.
I don't know
What
if he's the
fraud.
coach now. I
He's a
thought he
fraud.
was the coach. I don't think he's the coach.
They have JJ Watt.
That's true.
He's
Yeah.
coming back, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I want to talk to someone more knowledgeable than myself. I think JJ Watt, he's got to be on steroids. I mean, these are like two season-ending injuries that like he's come back from in like 8 weeks. Like the guy's got to be like, I don't know what it's in him, but it's
He's on
something,
something.
dude. He's unreal. I don't know
He's
what
on
it
something.
is.
Give me the Rams for this game, by the way.
Nope.
I think this one is actually going to be a high score. Give me like 34 to we'll say like 30. That's what I'll
Okay.
put it at. I
This
think these are
game
too high
could go
offenses.
Either way.
That's
it
what I'm
can go
saying.
in
The
so
Rams are
many
gonna win.
different
Okay.
directions.
The Rams are gonna win.
I think
I
the
think
Rams,
they will
Kings-
too.
listen,
the Rams have played some bad
Rams have been there
football recently.
before.
Listen,
But also the
what
Cardinals have played some bad football.
What I'm telling you is the
Also
Rams are gonna
lost.
win, and not because of Matthew Stafford in that offense. This defense is gonna shut down Kyler Murray.
You think?
Okay,
I
yeah,
think so.
this defense
I
is gonna
agree.
shut down Kyler Murray.
I
okay?
think D Hop. He's coming off an injury. If
The
he even
defense is
plays, I don't know
really
if he's
good.
going to play. I think Jalen Ramsey's going to absolutely clamp D Hop
Jalen
because he's
Ramsey's
going to
really
be
good.
hurt.
Yeah.
And then
D-Hop might play?
yeah,
Wow.
they shut him down for regular season to play in the playoffs. So if
Basically-
he plays, I think he's going to make.
Can I tell you one thing real quick about the Rams? I'm not here trying to tell you that Eric Weddle is going to come back and be that elite
I
safety
think
that
he'll be
we know.
solid.
Eric
He'll play
Weddle,
good.
listen, there is something to be said about a veteran who knows what the hell he's doing,
Yep.
who knows the game,
Yep.
just for a short time span.
Yep.
Okay? What the Celtics did in 2008, they got P.J. Brown out of retirement. Okay?
I'm not
We need to
gonna
make that
lie,
wrong.
I had no idea who PJ
P.J.
Brown was
Brown
until right now.
was a very solid paint presence, a good rebounder, and a very good defender. Okay? And he's
Did he
and they were
play?
like, dude, we need rebounding.
He played?
Yeah, he played,
Okay.
and he was a good backup to Garnett. Okay, we need rebounding, we need this, we need that, very specifically. He-
It's okay. The house is crashing.
Yeah. NFL veterans in the playoffs, they with very time left, us like not a lot of time to spare. They're gonna go. I think he's gonna provide a good spark for them. I really and truly
Brett
do.
Favre did for the Vikings.
Yeah,
that year.
and that's what I'm saying. I go when they have so much in the line, when they want that ring, when they want to win. I think Eric Weddle.
It could be
for
something.
4
I can see
games.
it.
You need the Rams are going up to Weddle today, and they go Eric Weddle, 4 games, 4 games. You make the most out of this. That's gonna motivate him. I think that's a huge addition.
I think the NFC teams are a lot more talented and Super Bowl caliber than the AFC team. AFC, it's like the Chiefs and maybe the Bills, maybe. But
I
just
think the
don't see
Patriots
it.
could be in that running.
I think they could.
I
too,
think
but
we're
they-
really
we have-
underselling playoff Bill. I think
we
playoff
are
Bill's
too,
being undersold.
But what happens if we go out there and Josh Allen just steamrolls
We're
us?
talking about
It's
that,
possible.
you know?
It's very
I
possible.
have Arizona beating the Rams 30-23. I think that Arizona sneaks a couple in. And
I'm gonna.
I
think
think
it's gonna
that they
be.
might lay an egg.
I don't
the Rams
see-
have laid a couple eggs, and the
Listen,
Cardinals have
they-
laid eggs too.
listen,
I just
they
think
have,
the Rams are
but
going to lay the egg too.
I just think that Cliff Kingsbury's offense, especially of like how like hybrid and how fast and how just unique and different it is, that doesn't bode well in the playoffs. Okay, the playoffs are a certain way. It's like in basketball too. What happens? They change more to a half court set. the defense. I'm sorry, the defense and the running game. And yes, there is passing involved, but those are the two prevalent things because the weather gets colder. Okay, so you have to rely more on your defense and your running game.
I mean,
in the
they
NFL
are
playoffs.
Is Darrell Henderson not playing?
Yeah, I think he's on IR.
Game will be won.
He
by
was put on
Michelle
IR.
Akers.
Cam Akers is another one. He came back very
back.
quick. I don't know about that.
What's going on here?
I think that might be like a European treatment session or something. Like that. You know, Spencer's like, I don't know about that. Very quick from an Achilles tear.
That's true.
The start of the season. I mean, that's catastrophic.
I predict a choke job from the Arizona Cardinals.
Honestly, I think it's going to be a fourth quarter of situational football. It's going to be back and forth all game, and it's going to come down to it. And whoever is going to have the ball for the last possession is going to win.
That's fair.
And I don't know. I'll say like 28. 20, I don't know, whatever. But I think it's gonna be a close game.
We didn't talk about the 1 seeds because we only did playoffs. So let's go with go back to the AFC. We'll go to the Titans. How legit do you guys think the Titans are? And let's say I think we all picked the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
If it's Patriots and Titans, who do you think wins?
I
don't know.
I thought it was Cincy, but I think you're right. It is Patriots Titans.
That's tough.
I got to bring it up.
Oh, good. Okay.
I will say so.
It would be
Cincy.
Because we're the 6th seed. If we win, the Titans face the lowest remaining seed. That's how the playoffs go.
5 seed.
Are we the 5 seed?
We are. We're the 6th seed.
Yeah, we're the 6th seed. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
because they would. I thought. Do they play the winner of Kansas City?
No, because the number 1 seed coming out the bye always faces the lowest remaining seed. So that's what ends up happening. So
who knows?
Yeah. So I don't know. Because I do know that the Patriots did rout Tennessee last time they faced each other.
They didn't have Derrick
There was
Henry,
something
though.
going on.
They didn't
Derrick
have
Henry
Henry.
has
I think it
choked in the
literally-
playoffs.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not here to try to tell.
I'm not
Derrick
buying
Henry,
the Titans still. I'm not buying it.
I don't think Henry's gonna go God mode. But let's also take into account that Vrabel knows if Vrabel owns a playoff victory over Bill Belichick. He does. You know,
It was
Brady's
a very
last
different
year.
team, though.
Brady's
It was.
last year.
The
that
defense
it was
not
a
so
piss
much,
poor
but
year.
The offense.
But there's still something to be said that Belichick against former assistants.
We have Jeremy McNichols.
Like,
This is what we're dealing with.
I think their playoff run entirely depends on how Derrick Henry comes back. If he
I
comes
I
back,
don't think he's gonna be God.
and if he
mode. I
doesn't,
think he can.
if he
I agree
doesn't,
there.
I think they're kind of an easy out. But if he
think so.
returns to like 80% form, I think they could easily go to the AFC
Don
Championship.
I think the Titans are a second round exit. I think they'll
Hilliard.
lose to
They
either
start in
the.
the
Yeah, I was gonna say they start in the second round.
Well, yeah, I can't say they're a first round exit because they don't play in the first round. So
Nice
I think
cop out, Will.
I think they're a second
You
round
also have
exit.
to take into account they have a week off for Derrick Henry. That's big.
That's big.
That's
That's,
yeah,
huge.
that's fair.
They played hard, and that's
But what are they gonna do within that week? Are they gonna?
Rest him.
Rest
Yeah,
him.
well, that's what I'm
Derrick
saying.
Henry will
So
take a
he's
bath.
so he's gonna be pretty much limited participation. He hasn't felt full NFL contact now in how many weeks?
It's still Derrick Henry.
I honestly think it's
I
more
don't
of
think
a
it's
problem that the opposing defense hasn't felt Derrick Henry in quite a few weeks. Like, I seriously think that he's just.
Well, again,
huge.
are they gonna? Well, you say that the defense hasn't faced Derrick Henry and haven't felt him, but it's this other way around as well. And we don't know. And you agreed with me when he said that you don't think he's gonna be 100%.
I don't
No,
know.
he
I
won't,
don't.
so-
I don't think it's as much of an issue because he's been with Tannehill. He's been with Lawan, Nate Davis,
Is this us
Ben
playing
Jones.
then?
He,
Huh?
Is this us playing them?
Who?
New England?
I think.
Possibly.
I don't think the Raiders are going to win. So
I don't think the
I
Raiders
think we
are
would end up playing Tennessee, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
This bracket's confusing to look at,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, but it's
I
simple.
think-
So
I think
whoever,
the-
so if we're all predicting San Francisco to win, right? So if San Francisco wins, then they would face the Packers. It's always the 1 seed gets the lowest remaining
Okay.
seed.
You're
Yeah,
right.
like in the second round of the playoffs.
So if we
So-
win and the Raiders don't, assuming they don't, we would play Tennessee.
Yeah. So then it
That's
would be Tampa versus LA or Arizona, whoever you chose. And then say if San Francisco won, it'd be Green Bay versus San Francisco. And then you have this.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I agree. And then you have Kansas City versus either Oakland or Cincinnati. Did I say Oakland again? Yeah, I said Oakland again. Whatever. So I mean, it's pretty simple. And then you have the championship game, and then you have
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
So,
whatever else it may be.
We'll
I
move to
could,
the
I
NFC.
could totally see Derrick Henry running all over the Patriots.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could.
it's a possibility, but
We're
again,
not
it
a
all
great
depends
tackling
on.
Let's
team.
move on
Yeah.
before we try.
Before we manifest that.
Kyle Duggar and Dante Hightower will be huge factors on whether or not that happens.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
well-
and Adrian Phillips.
Well, we'll move to the NFC. I guess the other 1 seed. This is The Packers, and this is
Super Bowl favorites.
I was about to say, this is my Super Bowl pick. This is the team that I have winning it all.
I got them going.
I've said since the second week, not the first week, because they laid an egg.
I got
But
them
the
going.
second week, I said I think if they stay this course, which they have thus far.
Aaron
I
Rodgers
think
is
they're
like
gonna win.
ridiculous. He's so good.
It's so
and he
effortless
deserves
of
another
him.
ring. He deserves another
He
one.
does.
He
So,
does.
Will, going back to our argument in the 5th ever episode of Conti and Nick, you were saying that Aaron Rodgers has been treated so unfairly by this organization because they haven't gotten him passing weapons.
I still think he has.
You know, he's really struggled. He's
I
really
disagree
struggled
What
this
weapons
year.
have they got him besides Cobb?
They have Randall Cobb. They have Amari Rogers, Devontae Adams.
Marquez
but
Valdez-Scantling.
Adams has been
Marquez
there,
Valdez-Scantling had like 6 touchdowns, while the rest of the
Actually,
team had 8.
Alan Lazard has played.
And
very
listen,
well.
yeah,
Alan
I'm
Lazard-
trying to
Alan
tell you,
Lazard.
last year he threw 48 touchdowns and 5 picks. How much of a problem was the passing game for Green Bay?
It was Lazard.
Look,
It was Lazard,
no,
not
I did.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
And look,
That's my bad.
I argued that the Packers did not have his back. And are we gonna pretend that they didn't? Are we gonna pretend that they didn't have Aaron Rodgers back? You're taking a
the Packers
quarterback
had
in
the
the
Packers
first
back.
round?
The Packers had the Packers back.
Okay, yeah.
And they did what
You
was
have a
right for the
generational
organization.
quarterback.
The Packers are only in the situation they've been in the past 15 years because of Like
That's
you
fair.
have to.
I'm
not.
You
not
gotta
here-
support your
I'm
guy.
not.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not here
Gotta
telling
support
you
your guy.
that he isn't the reason,
This-
but you have to remember, and I will say this till the day
Listen.
I die. The year before last, when he won the MVP last year, he had a season that wasn't up to par with Aaron Rodgers'
That's
play.
ridiculous.
Is that
Wait, what
inaccurate?
year
When the
Last
Patriots
year.
did this,
Last
I
year
agree
when
with
they-
you.
he won the
Thank you.
MVP.
I agree with you.
Wait,
that's
what?
Yeah,
What?
Wait, time out.
in
You're talking about his
2019.
MVP season?
Wait, last
No, the
season?
year before his MVP season.
Okay,
2019.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I
yes.
thought you meant his
But
MVP.
my
No.
point is that
He sucked last year.
The-
I was
my
about to
point-
get Cam-
his down
Burn
season. I know what
down.
you're talking about. My point is that when Brady had a down season, we drafted Jimmy Garoppolo. He got pissed off. He won an MVP. And when we do it, it's like, oh, fair trade, fair business, whatever. And I mean, yeah, Brady did
It's
end
different.
up leaving.
We took a quarterback in like what? Jimmy was a third rounder.
Second round.
Dude, and first of all, we've been saying, okay, Aaron Rodgers is frustrated because he doesn't think he's, in my opinion too, I agree, Aaron Rodgers is making these receivers good, in my opinion. This team with a different quarterback, I don't think they're good.
So with
I don't
Tom
think they're
Brady,
very-
with Tom Brady, they're not good.
Okay, obviously not Tom Brady. You can't
If
just
you
insert.
put Derek Carr on the Packers, they're not super.
Exactly.
They're not Super Bowl. They're
I don't
still
think
a
they're.
playoff team.
I don't think so.
They're still a playoff team.
I don't think
I
so.
think
How are the Raiders with Derek Carr a playoff team, and then with
No,
the
we
Green
can't
Bay
use
Packers
Derek Carr.
without
We
Derek
can't.
Carr?
Matt
No.
Stafford. Put Matt Stafford on that team.
Put Matt Stafford. I'd say they'd still be in the playoffs.
I don't
I'd say
know.
they'd still be the
I
division
think
winners.
they would
by
be
Division
I
winners.
think they get bounced by
It's
the
a
Bucks
piss
or
poor
something.
division.
It is a bad. You know what?
Hey, they also
It's a bad
lost to the
division.
Vikings earlier this year too, though.
They
But
could
a
have
few
lost to
losses.
the. They could've
And they
to
lost to the Lions.
Yeah.
But I know I'm just
The
fucking.
NFL has been unbelievable this year.
Yes,
Yep.
and what I'm telling you is
Jordan Love is not the answer to this team, and we need to stop acting like he is.
No, I know.
Who's acting like he
Not Jordan Love.
Nobody knows who the
So-
answer to that.
But again-
it's Rodgers stays or bust, really.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's Rodgers' Super Bowl to lose at this point. And I can
Yeah.
easily see Brady swooping in and just like, fuck you.
I
and
will
just
say,
taking it.
the
But I
last
don't
year-
know.
the
The last
year-
year-
the last 2 years.
I wanted so badly a Rodgers and Mahomes Super Bowl last year because it was going to be like this passing of the torch, and I thought we were going to be talking about Mahomes for the next 10. I was all in on Patrick Mahomes and like, oh yeah, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. And now I look like an idiot. But...
Well, he is a top 5 quarterback.
No,
in the
I mean
league
of all
today.
time.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
oh
I know,
my god!
I know.
Oh, I'm gonna
No,
puke.
I was on that train.
Oh, I'm gonna
I-
puke.
You should have just left it
Yeah.
at that.
I-
I'm gonna puke.
I w- Dude, I was on that
Who
train.
gives a shit?
I was on
No,
that
that's what I'm
train.
saying, Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
only two
Yeah.
chips in two in what?
Look,
Four,
I-
2 chips in 3-4
I'm
years.
not saying that was a done deal for sure, but I was saying, all right, if Mahomes, let's say that I was right and Mahomes wins that Super Bowl, it's like, okay,
The
Patrick
Packers would have won that game.
Okay, but all right,
I
let's
agree.
in theory, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes. He's only had really 3 seasons up to that point. He has an MVP and 2 Super Bowls in those seasons. And we got to be like, okay, is he up there to being one of the best? That's what I thought was
Would the
going to happen.
Texans be in the Super Bowl those last 2 years if he was drafted to the Texans?
I don't know. Maybe.
That's
Maybe.
That's
They were in
such
the
a big
divisional
one.
round.
If
Yeah,
they
they
had
were in
the divisional
Mahomes,
round.
I say
entire
okay. Real quick, I know this is kind of off the
future
grid,
changes.
grid of like
Hey, shout
of
out
the
Conti.
playoffs. If you switch Deshaun
Shout out
Watson and
Conti,
Aaron,
Wild
and
West.
Patrick Mahomes, who's the better quarterback?
Watson, easily.
So
Deshaun,
I said
Patrick
Mahomes is a product of Andy Reid.
No, I agree.
And I don't think Mahomes is
I think
bad.
Mahomes is really good.
I don't want people to think.
I will
don't
say,
want people thinking that he's bad.
I will say,
but
I thought Mahomes was
neglect.
way better than he was.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I was
think
wrong.
A lot of people did that.
I was wrong. I still think that I don't think I overshot too much. I don't. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I still think that he's probably a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Mahomes?
And I still yes.
Right now, yes.
And I still think he's up there.
Actually,
you could argue he's number 1 in my opinion as far as talent goes. I think he's still
no, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, look, he's
Aaron
still
Rodgers
super
is
talented.
Surgical.
He is, and I would put Aaron Rodgers 1 too. But I'm saying you could make the argument he's still ridiculously talented. And I overshot that. I thought he would carry that to an all-time, and he hasn't.
Tom Brady's got no.
That's the one. That's my slip up there, and I'll say I'm wrong on that. But I still think Rodgers.
Also, I think Gronk must be on the TB12.
We're all just looking at the wrong thing. Dom is like, man, a lot of these season-ending injuries are taking like 6 weeks.
So I think Gronk has become more elastic. That's what I see him. He looks a little bit less like bulk, and I'm like, I think he's elastic.
Maybe.
Who's the GOAT? Gronk? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's got the Gronk share.
Who's the GOAT? Gronk or Gonzalez?
Gronk.
Tight end.
Gronk.
It's Gronk, and it's not close.
It's
It's
not
not
close.
close anymore.
It's
If he
Gonzalez.
played
I'll
just the
fight
Patriots
anyone
career,
on this.
if he played just the Patriots career, it was still Gronk. It was close. After these couple of seasons, I mean, he's still dominating.
He won a Super Bowl with the Bucks.
That's what I
Like,
mean.
can we get some credit on this man's name?
You know what? Shout out
Round
to
of
Gronk
applause
for
for
Gronk.
Gronkowski. Hell yes.
Hey, you know who the only man that I think is a little better than Rob Gronkowski is? John Rowe!
Only guests who have known that. You guys are cute.
Let's go. Peace, everyone.